Hey everybody, it is Zach here from the Ed Boys, and welcome to my pet tier list video. This is an idea that came up on stream a little while back, and it's a question that comes up a lot on what are my favorite pets, because it's just a pretty easy question. Everybody's got to have a favorite pet, unless you're one of those people who doesn't care about pets at all, but then I'd be surprised if you were on this video. Pets are all purely cosmetic, so I'll be rating them on how they look, how rare they are, and then in general, the boss or the activity that you have to grind to do it, just how much I like that or what the benefits are of it too. For the most part, this is just going to be about which pets that I would like to have following me the most, like which pet I want to have behind me, but there's a few different things that makes a pet great. As I get started, I'm going to be tossing them into whatever tier I care about, but I'll probably be moving them around while I'm doing it too. Just because I put a pet in whatever tier right as I first bring it up doesn't mean I won't move it by the end of the video. Also, I only went to D tier, mostly due to space. There are a lot of pets, and unless I really wanted to shrink these down and make them kind of tough to see, I figured I would just go with 5 tiers. I already feel bad enough throwing any of them in D tier, because I really like the vast majority of pets, so F tier would have felt bad anyway. We're just going with 5 different tiers, S to D. I think that'll do it. We can get started. We'll just go down the list, starting with the King Black Dragon. KBD is pretty classic, pretty OG. The pet looks pretty cool. I just like all dragon pets, I guess. Just the fact that it's a dragon in general makes it kind of... OG was the way to put it. I'm not a huge fan of fighting the King Black Dragon, and I don't think the pet is that uncommon to see, I guess, but I'm going to put it in A tier for now. I feel like it's A to B is what I'm putting it at. I like it a lot. I know it's a pretty popular pet, but I don't have like that many good things to say about it. Keep in mind, since we have 46 pets here, I'm going to be trying to keep it short for each pet so that this video doesn't take 40 fucking minutes. Zulrah being the next pet. This one, I kind of want to put in S tier because I like it a lot more than KBD, but I don't know if I consider it S tier either. I'm going to go A for now, but I really like bosses that you can use the metamorphosis option. Or pets I should say. Any pets in general, not even just the boss pets. Skilling pets too. If you get multiple looks, I think that makes the pet just a lot better. Gives you a lot more options cosmetically. Plus, fighting Zulrah, you can make a ton of money. It's pretty easy to grind out a lot of them because you get rich while you're doing it. Or if you get lucky, get the pet early. That's always good too. In general, there's a lot of Zulrah pets out there already because a lot of people do Zulrah, but I don't think that really makes it any less valuable. Next, we have the Callisto Cub, one of the wildy pets. With the 3 main wildy pets, like the big bosses, this is the boss that I like to fight the least, but I do like this pet a bit. We're going to end up starting with 3 A tiers right away at this rate. I don't put it S tier. I feel like B. I want to put it in B for now. It's pretty close. There's not that much I love about the boss itself. I really like the idea of the little bear cub for the pet. I think it's pretty cute, so that's the majority of what I like about it. If anything, I would move it up to A, but we got to not put everything in A right away. Like I said, I might move some things around. The next one, though, is definitely not A or B. This is a clear S tier to me. The Bloodhound pet is awesome, dude. Master Clues are pretty cool. The idea of them in general when they were added to the game, as you can tell, I'm really having a hard time lining this up. Master Clues are pretty cool in general. You can make decent cash off of like a single clue, so they're pretty exciting, but also pretty hard to do. I like the dog pets in general. I'm a huge fan of dogs, and the Hell Puppy was really the only dog pet option until we got the Bloodhound, and this one is just so much cooler. It's also very rare, very interesting to have, very unique to get, and shout out to Casey for getting his Bloodhound pet. Definitely S tier in my eyes. The Beaver, the first skilling pet on this list, yeah. This one I'm definitely going a little lower with. Skilling pets are a little less exciting because bossing is more fun than skilling, but they're also exciting because of how rare they are. So I like that, but it's just a beaver. It's not like a big deal. I'm going to go with C tier for now because it also kind of matches, I guess. Woodcutting's not insanely exciting. It's very AFK to get, not too bad to get. If anything, I could go B. I don't hate it, but there's not that much about it that's that exciting to me. Baby Mole, you say? This is definitely going to go up a tier once we have the pink mole version. I think I'm going B for right now, though. The mole is a nice low-level boss to get started on. It makes it not as prestigious to have the pet. Though, as with any pet, it could be difficult to get it just because you go dry. You never know. It's fairly low level to get started. You don't make insane money, and it's more of an OG thing than anything. Just the baby mole doesn't look that cool, but the pink naked one is definitely going to bring it up to A tier, hands down. Next, we have the Young Left, which also has a metamorphosis option if you get the corrupted Young Left, which is pretty cool. I think the Gauntlet's pretty cool in general, and this pet, I guess I like newer pets overall. I think I'm a little biased that they've been making the newer pets look a little bit cooler in general. But Young Left, definitely going to go with A tier for now. The first of the God Wars dungeon pets on the list, Saradomin. This is probably going to be my big controversial pick, or my first controversial pick. I don't know. If you really like the Beaver or really hate the Bloodhound, then I've already pissed you off. But I don't think Sarah's, at least compared to the other God Wars dungeon bosses, quite as dope. So it's hard to put her, like, A tier, because then the few of them I'd have at S, which is just a little high for me. I think if anything, B tier. It'd probably be a crime to go C tier for any God Wars dungeon bosses pets, but I don't really... First of all, the pet icon, the one we're looking at right now for the inventory, what the fuck is this, dude? It looks like some four-headed creature that they just stuck the head on top, like that spider toy with the child's head from fucking Toy Story. But other than that, I do like the pet. I'm a little salty at the boss, but not because I'm drawing the pet, I was drawing other things. I'm just not that hyped on it, I guess. I don't have that many excuses. So B tier, if not, I would put it up in A. The Chin Pet. This is one of the top scaling pets for sure because of the metamorphosis. Like I said, I like multiple color options. But the golden chin, dude, the little Pikachu, almost makes me want to put this S tier. But that doesn't seem right. This is definitely... I'm going to go with A tier. Other than those two things, the fact that it has the color options and the golden one is so sick, not even A tier. I don't like Hunter that much. Chins can make good money, so I like the idea of making bank while getting the pet. Don't get me wrong, but... I'm not huge on it, mostly other than the fact you can get the golden Chinchomp. I love the idea of having the Pikachu. I gotta start choosing more B tiers, which is making me think I want to drop some A tiers off soon, because I want to put Orphan A tier also. I wouldn't put it S. It's really OG, though, to have an Abyssal Demon following you. So I'm gonna go with A for now. We are stacking up the A tier. I gotta start hating on some bosses soon. Like I said, I'll move some around, but definitely it's a little more OG in terms of monsters in RuneScape. The Abyssal Demon Pet is just really cool to have. The Sire is a pretty fun, interesting fight, but you don't make a lot of money. It does require a task and 85 Slayers, so it's a little bit of a pain to grind out, but I do like the pet a lot. Maybe I would put it B tier because of how much I don't like Sire in a way. I like Sire, it just kind of sucks to grind out this pet, but it's mostly about how the pet looks, and I really like how the pet looks. Well, this will be an easy one to not put an A tier, because I think the new Nightmare pet is definitely S tier at the moment. With how high my rankings have been so far, clearly I just really like pets. I think it's going to be more of a top-heavy list by the end of it, though I'll slowly move some down. Nightmare is definitely S tier. Overall, the pet looks cool because it looks just like the boss, and the boss looks cool. The boss is pretty cool, very fun to do, still has expensive items, you can make a lot of money. It's the new, interesting boss and grind, so I could be a little biased on it. And like I said earlier, I think the new pets have been looking cooler than the old pets, so I put them higher tier generally. I want to put Lil Zik in A tier because of how much I like Theater of Blood. I think Theater of Blood alone could put it at A tier, but I don't think that's what this should be focused on necessarily. I think Theater of Blood brings it up a little, but I'm going to go with B because I don't really... Lady Verzik herself's pretty cool, but like the fat fucking spider, it's kind of gross. It's very prestigious. Theater of Blood is really dope to do, and you can make a lot of money. That makes it a pretty cool pet. Other than that, she's kind of nasty. I don't know how hyped I am on it. I would almost go C, but it seems like a crime to put a Raids pet that low. If anything, I'd move her down before up. Vorkath was S tier when it came out to me. I thought Vorkath was awesome because I love dragon pets, and I think he's better than the KBD pet, and I have KBD A tier. This makes me want to drop KBD to B and put Vorkath there instead. In fact, I think I'm going to pull that trigger. I like KBD pet a lot, but the whole idea of the pet list is definitely comparing it to other pets, and I can't put everything in A necessarily. I don't think Vorkath is S anymore, in my opinion. I don't think S has the room for him. Maybe. He's close. You make a lot of money with Vorkath. He's very similar to Zulrah, and I like him better than Zulrah. Holy shit, I can't line this up. I was already thinking overall that maybe KBD was B tier. That's kind of the excuse I need. Vorkath's definitely a better dragon pet. I put him a tier above KBD, but I don't see KBD, or excuse me, I don't see Vorkath as S tier, so I think I gotta drop KBD to B. The Phoenix pet. I tell you what, before the recolor, easy C tier option. Like, not even a joke. This pet's kind of cool. Just because, I don't know, kind of looks like a Moltres. If you can't tell, I played Pokemon a lot as a kid, especially the OG 150. If you make a pet that looks like a Pokemon, I like that, but it doesn't look that cool. Other than the fact you can now recolor it, I'm going to put it up a tier because of that. Looks like B has taken over for our most loaded tier. But overall, I'm not huge on the Phoenix pet. The Cowfight Queen pet. This one's a tough one. Definitely not A. I think if anything, B, the new fullest tier. I like the Metamorphosis, which brings it up. If not, I would put it at C. Cowfight Queen's really OG. Anybody who's played the game for a long time is just, it's kind of nostalgic, but it's just a big fucking bug. She's not necessarily that pleasing to look at least the princess. I like it overall, so I think it'd be a little bit of a crime to go C for now, but if anything, I might even drop Cowfight Queen if I have to compare it to some of the other bugs coming up. The Nibbler. This definitely is higher up because you can now have Zuck instead of the Nibbler. Plus, if you're able to kill Zuck at all to be able to get this is very prestigious. It goes A for me. If anything, I would go S. I feel like the Zuck version of it is S tier. I'm going to go S for now. Fuck it, man. I'm putting Nibbler in S tier. Nibbler's hard to get. The Zuck version of it looks really dope. It's pretty prestigious overall. I definitely think S is not unreasonable. One of the hesitations of throwing things in S tier is I already said we had limited space, and this was an option that I thought was easily S tier. God damn, Hydra is definitely S tier, and if I were ordering the tiers by, like if they were actually in order in the tier, I'm just considering them all a tie once you're whatever tier, this would be higher up than probably all three of these. Hydra's a really dope looking pet, maybe not doper looking than Nightmare, but you get a bunch of different color options. It's really prestigious because of 95 Slayer and needing the task. You can make a ton of money while you fight the Hydra. There's very little to complain about with this pet. The Heron. The only reason I like the Heron is because it's fishing. I'm going to just put it C tier with the other skilling pets so far. To be fair, I have a skilling pet in A tier, I guess. I'm not that hyped on Heron in general. I really like the idea of a fishing pet. It's not too cool. It's not too prestigious. I like it. I like it a lot. I have it on the hardcore, but other than that, it's probably filling up C tier. Definitely, I give skilling pets a little bit more of a bad rep because they're not as exciting to grind out, but they are exciting when you get them because of how rare they are. I said it before. It's pretty wild when you actually get it. Alright, time to fill up A tier a little more. Definitely Vedian is higher up than Callisto. This is a little easier to rate once I get a few on here because I'm just comparing them to the other ones I've already decided on. Callisto being B tier seems reasonable to me, and I like Vedian more than Callisto. You have the second option for color. I like fighting the boss more, and I think it just looks cooler overall, so I'll go with A tier. The Rift Guardian. Dr. Riftonian definitely gets an A tier. I feel like A, if not B. Mostly A because I am very into the idea of multiple color options, like I've said, and this one has a ton of color options, so definitely Dr. Riftonian's pretty sweet. Also, the rune crafting pet's very rare to get. Nobody really likes training rune crafting, so it's kind of a pain, and I think overall it's fairly prestigious. I feel bad rating the Hell Puppy. This was my first pet. Even before I got the pet, he was like my favorite in the game at the time. We never have another dog to work with, though there's totally space for another dog on S tier, but I can't consider him S tier necessarily. And even A tier, I feel like he shuffles between A and B for me. He's very classic to have like a Hellhound pet, and he's a cute little puppy, so I think A tier is where he fits for now because we definitely still have space. The Squirrel pet. The squirrel is definitely not that high up on my list, but they're about to add recolors on it, so there's a good chance by the time you watch this video the recolors are in the game. There's a good chance that they aren't yet either, you never know. But if the recolors happen, I go B. If not, I was going to go C. Agility kind of sucks to train, making it a little more prestigious in a way, but I don't really like grinding it out. I've had some bad luck so far on it. Maybe I'm a little biased on that. I'm a little biased in the whole list, though, so what are we talking about? Chompy. I don't hate the Chompy, don't get me wrong. It's not very exciting, not that hard to get. Not that prestigious. He's pretty gumpy. He's pretty cute looking is the only reason I don't put him in D tier, but it's... I would go B well before I'd go D, don't get me wrong. He'd be up a tier before down, but I think C tier's a good spot for him. C for Chompy. Zammy Pet. This one. I probably gotta put it... Zammy Pet's tough. I put it similar to Sarah, where I kind of underrate it for God Wars, but most of the God Wars feel like A tier pets to me. I love the God Wars dungeon pets. I'm gonna squeeze it in A tier, giving A the lead again. I did say before that this might end up getting top heavy on this list. I have a D tier in mind and a couple C tiers, but I like pets a lot. A and B are gonna get filled up. If anything, I've got some ideas for moving some A's to B's right now, but I like the list currently. Ah, the one we've all been waiting for, at least the one I was waiting for. For those who don't know, this was my driest pet hunt so far. I only have a handful of these pets. I haven't even mentioned the ones that I threw on the list that I have. Venonattis took me 4,603 KC. I like it more than the Callisto pet. I would put it on the same list as Vedian. If anything, more like B tier, but I'm so happy with the fact that I have the pet now, my friend Toby, that we get our second liner in the list. I believe they have to overlap slightly. But, I kind of like the looks of it, honestly. Otherwise, I would have shrunk down the orbs a little more. The Rockgolem. This one, I want to put in A tier because it's up there with Rift's Guardian for how many recolors you get. And I just love the look on Gumpy's face, dude. I definitely got to go A tier. I'm looking to drop some things into B tier because it's like 4 or 5 A tiers in the last, like, 6 options. But Gumpy, I love Gumpy. You get so many color options. He looks like an absolute Gump, which I guess Chompy looks like a Gump too, but he's just not as cool. It's just not as cool. All right, here's an option for not A tier. Criera, I'm going with S. If anything, I would drop to A tier. This is probably my weakest S tier of the 5 right now. If not, I put Zuck maybe there. Then Hellhound, or Bloodhound. Nah, definitely Kree's the weakest of the 5 here. The Kree pet is dope. It's definitely S tier. God Wars Dungeon's awesome. Arma's my favorite God Wars Dungeon to fight, so that's why I'm definitely biased on this one. But Kree, I gotta go with S tier. I gotta stick with it. Kraken. The Kraken is pretty OG. I am a huge Pirates of the Caribbean fan. This was my driest pet until I got Venonattis, but definitely going B tier. It sounded like I'm hyping it up for A. It's not C tier. I probably would drop it before raising it. It's just not that crazy in general, but he's pretty cool. I like him. Put him middle of the pack. And here's where we're gonna make some movement happen. General Greardor, I would definitely go with A tier. A tier is getting a little packed, and I had a couple question marks on my A tier pets. I think of these pets that I consider A tier, the weakest of them is really hard to choose. Honestly, I'm thinking between the Orphan and the Hell Puppy, the 2 Slayer pets that I have in here. A lot of it's because they've been around for a while. Probably going to drag the Hell Puppy down a little. That was ironic. And squeeze General Greardor into A tier at the moment. Not that I couldn't fit both, but I got some other A tiers coming that I think are better than the Hell Puppy too. And if I'm pulling that trigger, I'm going to do it with the Orphan, too. I really like the Orphan. This is probably the strongest B tier that we have right now is Orphan. If anything young left, I would drop down too, maybe, and then Chin. But for now, we're opening up that A tier slot and immediately throwing Corp in there. The Corporal Beast Pet is definitely close to S tier. It always has been pretty dope, very rare, very prestigious, very OG. And we have the option to actually make it look like Corp instead of just this core. But if you like the core too, you have both options, to be fair. Going with A tier, though, I don't know if I go with S. I don't think it's quite S, but it's definitely closer to S than it is to B. We're filling up A tier. We're filling up A tier. Jad's definitely A. He's OG. It's pretty cool to have a Jad pet, but it's not an S tier thing. He's not like... I don't know, it's not that dope. It's not insanely rare once you can do the fight caves, and if you do the fight caves one time, you can do it enough times to get the pet. Like, once you get the 1 KO, it's no problem. So he's similar to the Nibbler, but I just put him a tier down. Rocky me boyo, definitely S tier. Or S tier. Did I just say S while dragging him to C? Definitely C tier. If anything, he's closer to D than B, but he's definitely not D tier. We're going with C. It's very easy to get Rocky. You see him all the time. He's pretty cute, but pretty fat, as all raccoons really are. I like the Trash Panda idea. I like the Rocket reference, for sure, as a Guardians of the Galaxy fan. But other than that, he doesn't have much going for him. Dagonoth Supreme. I would put this middle of the 3 for the 3 Dagonoth pets. Kind of. It's closer to Prime than it is to Rex, but I'm going B tier. Middle of the pack for middle of the 3. And I think I'm going to split up all of the Dagonoths. Go C for my first C tier bossing pet. And then A for Prime. If anything, I would move Supreme up to A and Rex up to B. But it's been a little top heavy so far. I love fighting the Dagonoths. I just don't think the pets are that wild. Otherwise, I would do S and A tiers. Prime looks really dope. It's definitely A tier pet, not quite S. Supreme's close to A, But I'm gonna split him up, put him in B, and then clearly of the three of them, this is the ugliest one. Poor Rex doesn't have any detail. Well, Dak, have you decided on a D tier pet before I even started recording, dude? I do not care about the fart cloud. It's very easy to get him if you want to go deep wildy. So it's a strange combination of not very rare, but like trying to be prestigious, and it's kind of bullshit. He looks kind of cool, I guess. I remember as a kid, I always thought that the Chaos Elemental could roam the entire wilderness. Once I learned that he only roamed a little area, I was pretty set off from that boss in general. So I'm not that hyped on the pet. We have none in the D tier. I'm sorry, Fart Cloud. I'm throwing you in there. The old Sriracha pet. I'm going to go with B tier on this one. Yeah, I got Venenatis in A, and then the other two spiders in B. Sounds about right to me. If anything, I might go C, but I like the Sriracha pet better than Lil Zik. The only reason Lil Zik's cooler is because that means you've been doing Theater of Blood rather than a mid-level boss. But there's a little bit more about how they look. I've been kind of going back and forth whether or not are they prestigious enough or do they look cool enough. These two are both B tier for sure, while Venenatis I'm keeping A tier. Groot, can we get a congratulations for our first S tier skilling pet? This is definitely my favorite skilling pet in the game. They're also looking at adding, I don't know if it's official or if it's just been talked about, but they're looking to add a metamorphosis option with these, so you're going to be able to add seeds to them, and they change to a different form of Groot. So it's going to be above S tier at that point. That'll probably be my favorite pet in the game when it happens, if not a close second to someone that I haven't necessarily said is my favorite. Could already be an S, could be one of these 8. Next would be Skotos. He is not the favorite. Skotos, I definitely go B. If anything, C tier. He's a little more prestigious because you got to get totems, but it's only a 1 in 65 too. He looks pretty cool. I'll definitely go B. If I would go C before I go A for sure. Scorpia. This shit I want to put in D tier pretty badly. If anything, C, but D. Let's put the other Wildy boss with his buddy. I don't really care much for the Scorpia boss or the pet. The pet's kind of cool, but it's such deep wildy, such a pain to get. You never see it, because of how hard it is to get. That's why I would put it C tier, but I don't really like the pet. Grotesque Guardians pet. This is definitely A, if not S. The only reason I don't want to put it in S is because the boss kind of can blow. But it makes it that much more difficult to get. Kind of prestigious in a way. I'm going to go with S, dude. This is maybe the weakest S. I think it's such a cool looking boss pet, though. Both options, Noon and Midnight, they look so dope. The bosses in general, I like the fight itself a lot too, but it's a slow fight. You got to be on task, and it's a 1 in 3,000 pet. It makes it rare to get and really cool. So I like it. I'm going with S tier. All right, Undisputed Champ. Definitely my #1 pet in the game. Very hard to argue against it, in my opinion. The Omelette, even just the Omelette himself is pretty cool. The 2-legged dragon. I like all the dragon pets. I definitely have them separated by tier right now. 1 dragon in S, 1 in A, 1 in C. Omelette's definitely cooler than Vorkath, and then you add the transformation options. The Tecton, the Vasa, those are probably my top 2 ones. Ah, no, the Mutadile too. This is what I'm talking about. I can get so hard about these pets for so long. He's clearly S tier. He's definitely my favorite. I'd be pretty excited to see either him or the Dust as a drop, but they're both hard to get, making it also more prestigious and more of an excuse to be S tier. Down to the final 4 pets. First, we have Smolcano. Zolcano's a pretty cool boss in general, and the pet looks pretty dope. Being a new boss, maybe I'm a little biased, like I've said before, so I'm putting him A tier. I wouldn't go S. Maybe before he was nerfed, I would have gone S because of how much money you make. Generally, the loot that you get while grinding the boss makes it a little bit more enjoyable to get the pet, so kind of makes the pet a little... If you enjoyed getting it, you probably like the pet more, you know? The thing is, it was pretty obvious it was going to get a nerf, so even before the nerf happened, it didn't seem quite right. And now that the nerf is official, I'm just going to go with A. I want to go with A. The Penance Queen. The only reason this is even a thing. It's just really rare to get. Otherwise, this is really ugly. I can't put it D tier because of how hard it is to get, how prestigious it can be. But I do not care to see it other than the fact that it's like, oh, That guy has a Penance Queen pet. Right then, after I'm done saying that, do not give a fuck. It's pretty ugly. Thermonuclear Smoke Devil pet. The last Slayer pet, also the most intense sounding boss, and the weakest of the Slayer bosses while being 93 Slayer requirements. I hate on the boss more than I hate on the pet. The pet's pretty mid-tier in general for me. I can't put it A tier, even though I like it better than Kraken. Yeah, but if I'm going to have Puppy and Orphan down here, I got to keep him down here too. I'm going with B tier. B tier seems like it's rough because it's middle of the pack on my list, but again, this is really top heavy. Look, I love pets. I'm very biased. The final pet, the old Herbivore. I'm probably going to go middle of the pack with this one. If anything, A tier. I really like how he looks. He's so ugly, he's cute. It's an actual thing, and I like the activity, but I think I'm going B. I think I'm going B to maybe balance this out a little more, but as you can see looking at this list, which I'm going to go with is official. I don't know if there's any big changes I want to make. Going over each of them, I did say if I preferred to move them up or down rather, but I think these are the spots I would like to keep them in. Clearly, I'm a big fan of pets in general. This is a pretty top-heavy tier list, but I expected that from the beginning. Even the ones in D tier, I don't hate on them, but you gotta throw some of them in the bottom. Comparing to other pets, you gotta narrow it down. So if anything, I would drop a few things. Maybe the Dagonoth pets up a little bit. I think I like this list overall, though. My overall favorite pet, definitely Olm. My least favorite, definitely the Fart Cloud. Clearly, this is all just an opinion, a tier list, so there's probably not that many questions, but go ahead and tell me what you agree or disagree with. I imagine it's more disagreeing than agreeing. There's so many pets in the game that likely I put a pet that you really liked lower, or in this case, a pet that you don't like higher, because I put a lot of these pets high up on the list. Some of the B tier could probably be C tier the more I look at it, but I like it. I like where it ended up. I appreciate y'all watching this video. Pretty interesting sort of discussion vid to do, but it has nothing to do with mechanics or anything. It's all cosmetic stuff we're just messing around with here. I appreciate you all watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys feel about your tier list down in the comments section below. For those who don't know, I do stream on Twitch, I do have a Twitter, and I do have a Discord. All of those links are in the description. Thank you again for watching, and best of luck on your pet grind, ?